Before we get started, if you're new to this channel, make sure to like and subscribe. Now, let's dive into recap. All right, let me tell you a wild story. A dark, intense, absolutely insane ride that started at the end, and then throws us all the way back to the beginning. So picture this, a man named Fan Yuan, standing alone on a mountain. His green robes are torn to shreds, his hair's a mess, and blood is dripping from his body like it's leaking from a broken dam. The guy is surrounded, completely boxed in by warriors from every major sect, righteous clans, heroes, everyone. They all came together for one purpose, to end Fan Yuan, and they're not holding back either. People are screaming at him, "Hand over the Spring Autumn Cicada, and maybe we'll give you a quick death. You've committed too many sins, demon. You've slaughtered thousands. You ruined my life 300 years ago. Today I'm going to end you." It's chaos, rage, bloodlust. But Fan Yuan, he just stand there, calm, silent. His eyes are deep, like ancient library of secrets deep. He's got this expression like he's already seen everything that's about to happen. Time passes. 6 whole hours. No one moves. Everyone's just waiting for him to make a move. They're terrified of his final attack. The sun starts to set, and the mountain starts glowing in this orange-red firelight. It's dramatic as hell. Then, slowly, Fan Yuan turns. Just that one movement, and the entire crowd flinches. He looks at the sun sinking behind the mountain and chuckles. The sun sets above the blue mountain, the autumn moon with the wind of spring. And then he drops this poetic line about how in the end, nothing really matters. Success or failure, all turns to dust. And right then, boom, memories hit him. We find out Fan Yuan wasn't always this infamous cultivator. He was once a scholar on Earth. Yeah, Earth. He somehow ended up in this world, spent 500 years grinding, suffering, fighting, and now at the edge of death, he remembers it all. But here's the twist. He knew this was coming. He planned for it. From the very start, he knew this path would lead to ruin. Being a demon meant facing the world's wrath. He accepted it. Still, he smiles, because he's got one final card to play. The Spring Autumn Cicada, a legendary goo worm that lets you go back in time. If it works, he laughs, I'll be a demon again in my next life. That's when the crowd freaks out. He's going to attack. Stop him. Too late. Fan Yuan unleashes a blinding explosion of energy, and everything goes white. Then silence. Next thing we know, it's night. Rain's falling gently on Qingmao Mountain. Peaceful, serene, like that bloody battlefield never existed. And we're in a village now, Guyu Village. Lights glow in the darkness, scattered across the mountain like stars. It's quiet, but there's a buzz in the air. Something big's coming. Inside a temple, the clan elders are finishing a sacred ceremony. They're praying for the future, for young talents to emerge and carry on the clan's legacy. One elder is especially tense. He's worried. Another village, the Bai clan, has this monster prodigy named by Ningbing. Super young, already powerful enough to scare even the veterans. Everyone's praying that this year, the Guyu clan will produce a genius to match him. And then they bring up a name, Guyu Fan Yuan. Yep, he's back. Reborn. They talk about how brilliant he is. Speaking at 3 months old, walking at 4, reciting poetry at 5. A true prodigy. Parents gone, raised by relatives, but sharp as a blade. They're all eager to recruit him into their family lines. If this kid turns out to be A-grade, he could be the future of the entire clan. But here's the thing. We know what they don't. That same genius boy, that's Fan Yuan, the same guy who just blew up half the righteous world. Now, thanks to the Spring Autumn Cicada, he's gone back 500 years into the past, and he remembers everything. Up in a tall building, the clan head gazes out over the glowing village, thinking about the future. Meanwhile, somewhere nearby, young Fan Yuan is doing the exact same thing, staring at the lights, letting the rain hit his face, eyes filled with complicated emotions. He looks down at his small, pale hands that once held unimaginable power, and he clenches them. It worked, he whispers. The Spring Autumn Cicada really worked. He's reborn. Everything from his past life, all 500 years of pain, struggle, and blood, is still with him. But now he's got a second chance. And this time, he's not just going to survive. He's going to dominate. This is just the beginning. And bro, it's about to get crazy. So, there's this ancient legend about something called a Spring Autumn Cicada. It's said to let you literally travel back in time. Like, full-on, reverse the clock kind of deal. But here's the catch. Using it costs you everything. Your body, your cultivation, your life. All gone. And even after paying that insane price, you still don't know if it'll work. Total gamble. Most people think it's a myth. Even the ones who have a cicada are too scared to use it. I mean, imagine dying for a time travel ticket that might be fake. Yeah, no thanks. But Fong Yuan, he had no choice. Dude was completely cornered, backed into a wall with no way out. So he used it, and boom, it actually worked. He's reborn, back in the past. And his first thought? Man, I went through hell for this. He had sacrificed so much in his previous life, killed thousands, made enemies out of everyone, even pissed off the heavens, all to create and refine this insanely rare goo bug. But guess what? After all that, the Spring Autumn Cicada didn't come with him. It's gone. One use only, probably. And he's not even mad. Because, yeah, he lost the cicada. But he kept the real treasure, 500 years of knowledge. Bro, think about that. Every secret treasure, every rare item, every important event that hasn't happened yet. He knows it all. Cultivation techniques, battle experience, political shifts, betrayals, legends. It's all locked his mind like a cheat code. He's not just some lucky reborn guy. He's a walking encyclopedia of the future. But right now, he's just a kid again. No cultivation, no power, just a regular mortal in a village at the foot of Qing Mao Mountain. He stares out the window at the rain, thinking, all right, first things first, I gotta start cultivating. Fast. He remembers the treasure spots. Sure, but without strength, going to those places would just get him killed. Some are too far, some are guarded, and some only appear at very specific times. And right now, he's so weak even a mountain boar could end him. So he plans to rely on the clan for resources. Because, yeah, the world outside, way too dangerous for a low-level goo master wannabe. But once he reaches third rank, he'll finally be able to leave the village and start making moves. And guess what's happening tomorrow? The awakening ceremony. The very first step to becoming a goo master. As he's deep in thought, the door creaks open. It's his little brother, Fong Zheng. And yeah, they're twins. But don't get it twisted. They could not be more different. Fong Zheng is kind, soft-spoken, even a little insecure. He's shorter, quieter, always looking down at his feet when he talks. Big brother, it's raining. Why are you standing by the window? Fong Yuan just looks at him. His gaze is complicated. It's you, huh? My twin, little brother. The way he says it is cold, like he's emotionally detached. Fong Zheng, used to this kind of treatment, just lowers his head. I just saw your window was open. Thought I'd close it. It's late. And if Anne and Uncle knew you weren't asleep yet, they'd be worried. But Fong Yuan, he just laughed silently. Worried? Yeah, right. He remembers everything. Their aunt and uncle took their parents' inheritance the second they died in the mission. Then they treated the boys like burdens. And the only reason they stopped being cruel, Fong Yuan started acting like a genius, quoting ancient poetry, showing off talent. That's when things changed. The cold indifference he shows, it's not his real personality. It's self-defense. A habit. He never forgot how they used him. And Fong Zheng, he never saw any of it. He actually believes their aunt and uncle care. What's worse, deep down, he's always felt inferior to his older brother. Like, crushingly inferior. Same face, same birthday. But one's a genius, and the other, just average. People even call him Fong Yuan's little brother. Like that's his whole identity. And here's the craziest part. In Fong Yuan's first life, Fong Zheng actually turned out to be the one with A-grade talent. while Fan Yuan was only C grade. So when the awakening ceremony happened back then, everything flipped. Fang Zheng, the average one, suddenly became the clan's golden child. Resources, respect, training, all thrown at him. And the moment he got power, he changed. The resentment he'd buried exploded. He started making Fan Yuan's life miserable, targeting him, undermining him. So yeah, this little brother act? Fan Yuan's not buying it. But now, with the experience of 500 years, Fan Yuan doesn't hate any of them anymore. Not even his enemies. He just gets it. That's how the world works. The strong survive. The weak get crushed. Everyone's chasing power, trying to secure their place. And if someone blocks your path, you destroy them. No hesitation. Because Fan Yuan's path now, it's not just about survival. It's about immortality. And the road to immortality? It's soaked in blood. Revenge is my goal, he thinks to himself. The demonic path doesn't compromise. He glances at his little brother. Cold, sharp, unreadable. You can leave. Fang Zheng flinches. It's like that look cut straight into his soul. He mumbles something and slowly backs out, closing the door behind him. And Fan Yuan just stands there, watching the rain. Reborn, ready, and already 10 steps ahead of everyone. This time, he's not playing nice. Bang, bang, bang. That's the sound of the night watchman, smacking his wooden clappers in the early morning silence. The whole village is still half asleep when Fan Yuan opens his eyes. Dry, heavy, tired, but his mind, sharp as ever. He already knows. It's just before dawn. Dude barely slept 2 hours. All night. He'd been running through plans in his head. Schemes. Ideas. Because here's the thing. Fan Yuan may look like a regular young man, but inside, he's got 500 years of experience. Reincarnated, reborn, and way too smart to be fooled again. So yeah, exhaustion means nothing to him now. He kicks off his blanket and gets up without a second thought, opens a window, and the spring rain's finally stopped. The air outside is fresh, full of that earthy smell from soaked trees and wildflowers. The sky is still that deep pre-sunrise blue, not quite night, not quite day. The village he lives in is all tall, stilted houses made of bamboo and wood. His own place? Second floor one of these mountain homes, shared with his younger brother, Fang Zheng. Then he hears a voice. Young Master Fan Yuan, you're awake. I'll come up with your wash water. It's Shen Shui, his personal servant girl. She's not stunning or anything, but she's dressed cute, neat, lively. Long sleeves, nice hairpin, embroidered shoes. She looks fresh, bright, like springtime itself. She carries a basin of warm water up the stairs, smiling sweetly. But Fan Yuan? No reaction. Not even a flicker. He knows exactly who she is. In his last life, he was a sucker, thought she was loyal, thought she actually cared. Then, the moment his status dropped after the awakening ceremony, she flipped on him so fast it made his head spin, all cold glances and sneers. Now, with all his past memories intact, he's not falling for that again. She gently helps him wash up, brushing against his arm, pretending it's accidental, trying to get close. Back then, she made his heart skip. Now, nothing. He's ice. Then, in walks Fang Zheng, his younger brother, just in time to see Shen Shui smoothing out Fan Yuan's clothes. And oh man, the look in Fang Zheng's eyes? Pure jealousy. Because let's be real, his own servant is some old, wide woman, while Fan Yuan gets this bubbly, pretty girl every morning. But Fang Zheng can't complain. Everyone knows their aunt and uncle clearly favor Fan Yuan. In fact, the only reason Fang Zheng even has a servant is because Fan Yuan personally asked for one on his behalf. Even though Shen Shui is technically a servant, she holds weight. Her mother runs a household, super tight with her aunt and uncle, so yeah, she's got influence. But Fan Yuan doesn't care. He straight up brushes her hands away. Enough. No need to tidy. He's not here to be seduced. Not again. Not ever. He tells her to leave. Doesn't even look at her. Shen Shui is clearly thrown off. She wanted to whine or act cute, but something about his vibe today? Cold, unshakable. It scares her a little, so she just backs off quietly. Fang Yuan turns to Fang Zheng. You ready? Fang Zheng nods, but you can tell he's been up for hours. Dude's got dark circles, eyes dull with nerves. He's been freaking out about today, the awakening ceremony. Together, they head out. The streets are slowly coming alive. Other village youths are also on their way, walking in little clusters. Some of them recognize the brothers right away. Hey, that's Fang Yuan, the guy who writes those poems. Yeah, he always looks like he's above everyone. You can hear the envy in their voices, quiet gossip, hushed bitterness. Some admire him, some clearly hate him. Fang Zheng keeps his head down, used to it by now. He just trails behind his older brother, quiet and heavy. But here's the thing. Even though the sun is rising, even though it's morning, Fang Zheng feels like he's walking deeper into darkness. Why? Because his brother's presence, it's overwhelming. Always one step ahead. Always colder, sharper, better. The pressure is suffocating. Fang Yuan hears the whispers too, but he doesn't care. He knows. Jealousy comes with talent. And back in his previous life, when his talent got graded at sea level, the way people turned on him was brutal. Fake friends, scorn, isolation. It stuck with him. Now, he's watching everything with brand new eyes. He sees the patterns, the little schemes, like how their aunt and uncle tried to manipulate them both, giving him a pretty servant to tempt him, giving Fang Zheng a grumpy old maid to build resentment. It wasn't just favoritism. It was calculated. They wanted to drive a wedge between the brothers. And sadly, it worked in his last life. Not this time. This time, Fang Yuan sees through it all. The petty manipulations. The mind games. He could crush all of them. His aunt, uncle, even the clan elders. He's got 100 ways to flip the tables. He could seduce Shen Shui just to break her. He could step on Fang Zheng's ambition without blinking. But he doesn't feel like it. Yeah, he could do all that. But what's the point? Fang Zheng? He's just a stranger with shared blood. If he turns on him, Fang Yuan won't hesitate to walk away. Shen Shui? Even if she was the most beautiful woman in the world, without loyalty, she's just a shell. Their aunt and uncle? The elders? Just people passing through his life. Fang Yuan's mindset is simple now. Don't get in my way and I won't bother with you. But cross the line and you're done. He chuckles to himself, soft, cold. He's not here to play games. Not this time. The sun was just starting to rise over Qin Mao Mountain, casting sharp golden rays through the thin morning fog. In the heart of the village, over 115-year-old kids were gathered in front of the clan pavilion, this massive 5-story building with those sharp, slanted roofs that made it look more like a fortress than a home. This wasn't just any day. It was the awakening ceremony, the moment that could change their lives forever. The elder from the academy, a sharp-eyed man with white hair and a long beard, looked over the group and smiled. Good. All of you are punctual. Today is your life's great turning point. That was all he said before turning around and leading them straight into the pavilion. But instead of going up the floors, he took them down. They walked into a large hall and then descended a stone staircase, heading into an underground cave. And bro, the moment they stepped inside, everyone just stopped in awe. The cave was stunning, like straight out of a dream. Rainbow-colored stalactites sparkled overhead, casting a soft, glowing light on all their faces. It was magical, but not everyone was caught up in the beauty. Fang Yuan, standing quietly in the crowd, was calm. Too calm. In his heart, he was thinking back on history. This place? It was where the Guyu clan first found the spirit spring, centuries ago. That spring was the reason they built the village here. It created primeval stones, which are the core of their cultivation. Yeah, Fang Yuan knew exactly how deep this place ran. The group kept walking deeper until the lights faded. Suddenly, an underground river appeared, glowing with this faint blue light. It looked like someone had poured the night sky into the cave. On the other side of the river was a sea of flowers, moon orchids, with soft pink and blue petals shaped like crescent moons. Under the dim light, the flowers looked like glowing pearls on a jade carpet. The elder turned and faced the teens. When I call your name, cross the river. Walk as far as you can. The further you go, the better your talent. Everyone already knew the deal. Their families had told them 100 times. The further you walk, the brighter your future. This was the test to see if you had what it took to become a Gu master. The first name called was Guyu Chinbo. He stepped into the shallow river. At first, it only reached his knees, but he immediately felt it, this invisible pressure like hitting a wall of air. The orchids at his feet glowed faintly, and that light entered his body. For a moment, the pressure eased. He pushed forward, 1 step, 2 steps, 3, but then the wall returned, even stronger. He couldn't go any further. The elder sighed, Gyuchin Bo, 3 steps. No talent to become a Gu master. Oof! You could feel the pain in the air. Chun Bo's face was pale as he walked back. He wasn't just disappointed. He looked crushed. His dream? Dead. All he could look forward to now was a normal life in the lowest rank of the clan. Next up was another kid. He managed 4 steps, but that was it. No talent either. And that's when the nerves started to kick in for the others. Not everyone was born with the gift. In fact, only about half of the kids were expected to make it. Thankfully, in the Guyu clan, their bloodline was stronger than most, thanks to their powerful ancestor. Usually around 6 out of 10 had talent. Still, 2 straight failures made even the elders watching from the shadows frown. Then the elder called a third name, Guyu Mobe. A tall, sturdy kid stepped forward. Confident, calm, he crossed the river quickly. 1 step, 5 steps, 10, 20, and he just kept going. The lights from the orchids were flooding into him. 30 steps, 36. The elder beamed. Guyu Mobe B grade talent. Now that got everyone's attention. The elder placed his hand on Mobe's shoulder, checking his primeval C. He nodded, satisfied. 6 by 6 can be vigorously trained. In the clan, talents were ranked D through A. D grade was still enough to make it as a basic Gu master. C was decent. B? That was elite. Most B grades ended up as clan elders. And A grade? Practically royalty. People would fight wars over a single A grade. So M.O. Bay wasn't just a success. He was a big deal. The watching elders finally relaxed. One of them, a horse-faced old man named Guyu Mo-chun, couldn't stop smiling. That was his grandson, and you could bet he rubbed in immediately, turning to his rival, Guyu Chil-yen, with a smug grin. "Not bad, huh?" he said, clearly enjoying himself. Chil-yen, a red-haired elder, just scowled and said nothing. The tension between those two was real. Time passed. One by one, more kids crossed the river. Some made it. Many didn't. There were a decent number of C and D grades, but also way too many with no talent at all. The clan had sighed from the shadows. The bloodline's getting weaker. No new rank 4 masters in years. The last rank 5 died without descendants. You could hear the weight of that truth. Then came the next name, Guyu Chi-chun. Everyone looked at Guyu Chil-yen. His grandson, Chi-chun, walked forward, nervous but determined. 1 step, 5, 10, all the way to 36. Same as M.O.B. The elders shouted again, "Another B grade." The crowd erupted. Chil-yen actually laughed out loud, throwing a smug look right back at Mo-chun. 36 steps. Now he was on top. But Fang Yuan just narrowed his eyes from the crowd. He remembered something from his past life. Chi-chen? Yeah, he cheated. He was only AC grade, but his grandfather faked the results. Fang Yuan knew it, and he knew why. Chil-yen and Mo-chun were the 2 most powerful elders in the clan. Their rivalry ran deep, and having a grandson with high talent, that was power. Chil-yen couldn't let Mo-chun have the upper hand, so he rigged the ceremony. Fang Yuan considered his options. He could expose the lie, maybe get a small reward. But that would mean going head-to-head with Chil-yen. Not smart when you're starting at the bottom. Blackmail? Too risky. He didn't have the status to pull it off yet, so he stayed silent. But in his head, he was already plotting. And then the elder called out his name, Guyu Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan stepped forward. And if you know anything about him, you know this is where it all starts. Everything just stops, like dead silent. Everyone's watching this one dude, Fong Yuan, and he's just chilling. He's laughing to himself like, yo, this is actually getting kind of exciting. And then, like it's nothing, he straight up walks across a river, while a sea of people stare at him. But here's where it gets trippy. As soon as he steps onto the opposite bank, he feels this intense pressure all over him. Not from people. Nah, this is coming from the place itself. There's a spirit spring hidden deep in a field of flowers, and it's pumping out primeval chi, so thick it's practically weighing him down. Then, something wild happens. Tiny lights start rising from the flowers under his feet. They float up and begin swirling around him, like fireflies made of magic. And then, bam, they shoot into his body. He knows exactly what this is. Hope goo. No one told him. But Fan Yuan just knows. These glowing dots, they're ancient legendary goo, insect spirits called hope goo, and they've got a crazy backstory. So here's the legend. Back when the world was all chaos and wild beasts ruled everything, the first human shows up, Renzu. Dude just trying to survive, eating raw meat, drinking blood. Real caveman struggle. But life sucks, and it only gets worse because of these monsters called predicaments. Yeah, they literally hunt him for sport. And Renzu? He's got no claws, no fangs, nothing. Just a soft body and a hard life. Then Threegu appear to him and say, hey, if you feed us your life, we'll help you out. Renzu's got no better options, so he agrees. First, he gives his youth to the biggest goo. In return, strength. Now he's out there flexing on beasts, hunting, surviving. But strength alone ain't enough. Eventually, he burns out. He realizes muscle won't get him through everything. So, next, he gives his middle years to the most beautiful goo. And bam, he gets wisdom. Now he's playing chess while the beasts are playing checkers. Using brains and brawn, he finally starts winning for real. He even starts eating the predicaments that used to chase him. Dude's living. But time's cruel. Renzu gets old. Like, really old. His muscles shrink, his mind slows down, and worst of all, the strength and wisdom goo just dip. They're like, you got nothing left for us. And just like that, he's alone, surrounded by predicaments again, weak and helpless. But then, the last goo, the tiny, fragile one, speaks. Give me your heart. That's all I need. Renzu's like, bruh, I'm dying here. I don't even have time left, let alone my heart. But the goo's gentle. Just your heart. So Renzu gives it. And suddenly, this weak little goo explodes with light. Pure, blinding light. The predicaments freak out. It's the hope goo. Run. They scatter. And from that moment on, whenever Renzu faced despair, he gave his heart to hope, back to Fong Yuan. While that whole legend's running through his head, all those hope goo lights keep flowing into him, gathering under his navel. The pressure eases up. He keeps walking. Every step, more hope goo join the light in his body. It's glowing brighter and brighter. But the elders watching from across the riverbank, they're not impressed. They're whispering to each other like, way less hope goo than expected. Even the clan leaders frowning. Apparently, this ain't what top-tier talent looks like. But Fan Yuan's not stopping. He knows the score. Under 10 steps means no talent. 10 to 20 is D grade. 20 to 30 is C. 30 to 40 is B. And 40 to 50? That's a grade. He's at 23 steps. Then 24. 25, 26, and 27. And then, boom! Inside his body, the ball of light hits critical mass and explodes. No one else sees it. But Fan Yuan, he feels everything. His whole body jolts. His skin crawls. Every hair stands on end. His pores snap shut. His mind tightens like a stretched wire. Then peace. His body relaxes like he's falling into clouds. Warm, soft, safe. Sweat pours down his face. And just like that, it's over. He snaps back to reality and checks his body. And there it is, right below his navel, between his kidneys. An aperture, a mystical space just opened up out of nowhere. The awakening ceremony worked. And that right there, that's the first real step toward immortality. So we're inside Fong Yuan's body. Yeah, you heard me. Inside. But it's not like organs and blood. There's this crazy thing called the aperture. And it's not even in the same space as his body, but also somehow inside him. I know it's wild. People call it all kinds of names. The Purple Prefecture, the Chinese Pool, but most folks just know it as the Primeval Sea Aperture. It looks like a giant sphere, glowing with this soft white light. That light came from something called the Hope Goo, which exploded earlier. That thin glow is actually keeping the whole aperture from collapsing. Inside it, a sea. Not just any sea, the Primeval Sea. The water is smooth like glass green-blue, but it has this metallic copper shine. That's primeval essence. And for someone at rank 1 like Fong Yuan, it shows up as this green coppery liquid. It's basically the life juice for goo masters. It's how they raise goo. And get this, the sea inside Fong Yuan's aperture, it's only filled up to 44%. That number's important. It means he has C-grade talent. Yeah, C, not A, not B, C. Every drop of that essence is pure. It's the result of his soul, his energy, his life's potential, all condensed into this little sea. And with that, Fong Yuan officially becomes a rank 1 goo master. But just as his aperture opens, the Hope Goo stops sending anything more into his body. That part of the journey ends. Now Fong Yuan's standing there, and he feels it, like this invisible wall in front of him. He can't take another step, and he's not even surprised. He's been through this before in his previous life. Yeah, Fong Yuan has memories from a past life. So he just smirks like, of course. Then from across the river, the Academy elder calls out, hoping for more. But Fong Yuan just turns back, silent, calm. And that's when the crowd starts reacting. Wait, 27 steps? That's only AC grade. People are straight up shook. They thought this guy was a genius. His own brother, Fong Zheng, looked stunned. He always believed his big bro was an A-grade talent, just like the rest of the clan. But now, the truth hits, and it hits hard. Even the clan head clenches his fists. C-grade, he mutters, clearly disappointed. The elders watching from the shadows start whispering. Some are frowning, some confused, others in denial. Could the results be wrong? No way. This method's foolproof. We were watching the whole time. But the guy's a genius. How do you explain that? They go back and forth, trying to make sense of it. But in the end, it's clear. Talent doesn't always match up with intelligence or potential. Sometimes it just is what it is. Meanwhile, Fong Yuan walks back across the cold river. His socks are soaked, the chill stabbing through him. And those stares from the crowd? Brutal. Some are amazed, others are laughing, mocking him. Some just look away. And that's when he remembers the first time he lived this moment. Back then, it crushed him. When he fell into the river, nobody helped him. Everyone just stared, cold, distant, disappointed. He felt like the sky was falling, like he'd been tossed off a cliff. But now, this time, he's calm, because he knows something they don't. He's got hope inside him, small but real. And that's enough. Let people be disappointed. Let them judge. Who cares? This time, he walks forward with purpose. He's lived for 500 years before this. He knows that the best parts of life come when you chase your dream. You don't need approval. You need heart. And then the elder calls out, next, Guyufong Zheng. No response. Again, louder, Guyufong Zheng. Suddenly, Fong Zheng snaps out of it. He's so shook by what just happened that he forgot he was up next. He runs forward, trips on his own foot, and face plants right into the river. The whole cave erupts in laughter. Both Fong brothers, what a joke, someone scoffs.